7 episodes of this thing, and we're just keep rocking and rolling. Thank you so much for checking out Wassup Flobo After Hours, your Monday night delight. You know, it's live here on the West Coast, 10 p.m. Pacific, each and every single week, where we sit down with people who are moving and shaking and doing all those great things on the planet. But before I get to my guests, I got to thank you guys for watching live on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, and on Twitch. And if you're on that Twitch, hit me with a follow. And, well, you know, I can't do this alone. You know, it's a hard thing. So I give a shout out to members of the Boisterous crew. That's our Patreon, patreon.com/FloboBoyce. That's me. And you guys can unlock bonus content, and your contributions make this show a reality. So as always, I have to give a shout out to Christopher C, Christy H, ACH, Edric P, Oliver E, Princess Leia, Matthew C, Lindsay U, and Richard R. You make this show a reality. So you're probably wondering what I'm wearing right now. This is my campaign shirt. You see, 2 years ago, I ran for a business representative of my neighborhood council, and they told me kick rocks. But that's okay, because my guest this night is actually running for the president of our neighborhood council. This guy is going to say, you know what? Leadership, I got it. The skills, I got it. And we're going to chat with them all hours. So please welcome Mr. Randell Erving. How's it going, sir?
Hey, good evening. Good to see you. Thanks for having me on.
First of all, I got to give you props and a half for taking the brass ring here. So you're actually running for public office willingly. No one's dragging you to do it. You're just going yeah, you're going for it.
Yes, I'm signing up to be to do this for no pay. But so I do work full time.
Yeah.
But outside of that, yes, I do really enjoy being a part of the neighborhood council system. I was elected as the vice president of the Palms Neighborhood Council in 2019, and I'm currently running for president of the Palms Neighborhood Council, along with a slate of wonderful, fantastic leaders who are super talented. We're called the Palms Forward slate.
Oh, okay, so that's a lot to unpack here. So let's talk about this. So it isn't like professional politics where like that's the job. You actually have a day job, and then on your time off, where people are chilling and watching Netflix, you decide I'm going to serve my community. Question: why?
Great question. Great question. You know, I think a lot of it has to do with how I grew up. To be honest,
okay.
I was raised with my family encouraged volunteering. My teachers encouraged volunteering. So I grew up with a civic mindset, especially as I got towards high school. I ran my first campaign in the 7th grade, ran for ASB president. So I think there's just that leadership kind of path that I chose to follow. But certainly the civic engagement piece was highly encouraged. I was actually forced to be a poll worker as a 17-year-old. Was an assignment from my civics teacher. So she really did instill that responsibility for your civic life.
What does a poll worker do exactly?
So when you go to the polls and you
I never did. I do my thing by mail.
Which I hope folks folks are able to, that you do vote, because voting is important. Whether it's the neighborhood level, at the federal level, at the state level, your vote really does matter. But poll workers will check you in, verify that you are voting in the right polling location, answer questions you might have about how to vote, as far as like the mechanics of voting, and just to make sure that the elections can happen, essentially. So without poll workers, really our democratic process would be a lot different if there weren't folks who were dedicating their time to make sure that everyone can vote. Yeah.
So you are part of the Palms Forward slate, which I try to explain what slates are to someone who doesn't. It's not quite a ticket. It's not quite a gang of people. But what exactly is a slate? Why is it Palms Forward, and why are you the head of that, man?
Yeah. So a slate is, I like to call it a team. Okay. So it's essentially a team of folks that I'm running along with. And so instead of us running as individual candidates, we are running together. And so essentially, we're asking that if you vote for one of us, we ask that you consider voting for the rest of us. So essentially, it's a way that candidates can pool their resources, pool their support, and also pull their ideas together to make things happen.
And how did you guys come up with the name?
So. A great question. So it's been a rough year.
You ain't lying, bro.
It's been it's been very challenging. to say the least, throughout the pandemic. So I thought about my team and I as we were brainstorming names and slogans and logos and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
The idea that we're still in a pandemic, so I do want to definitely not say that we're out, but as we are entering a new phase in our society, or coming out of a pandemic, hopefully. I thought about just moving our neighborhood forward, right? So I think forward, think that we want to kind of leave some of the past behind us as far as some of the harder stuff that's happened in the past. And so I think there's really an opportunity to look to the future.
Sure.
I think that there's an opportunity for us to work together for the future of Palms. And so that's how we came up with the Palms Forward name.
When I ran for public office 2 years ago, which is crazy because I guess when's a lost year? Like I felt like it was like last week, right? I'm not this most spring chicken out there. I'm technically middle aged or pre-middle aged, right? But still, I'm considered young in the grand scheme of things because at 35 you can run for president of the United States and all that. And I was told that there is still a problem with getting young people involved. I hear it's also coming better. I'm hearing conflicting things that young people don't want to get involved, and I see younger people getting involved. Like, what has been your perspective with that as we get into the hyper local elections, even the bigger elections?
Yeah, I think that more recently we're seeing, I think, more young people get involved, and I think that more municipalities are creating opportunities for young people. And so the LA mayor has had a youth program for a few years, but it's kind of, I think, taken some greater shape, and I think that the county is doing some things with their youth department right now as well. And so I think folks are trying to get more youth involved and kind of also, I think, seizing the day as far as youth wanting to be involved.
Yeah.
Speaking of youth, we have a youth representative on the Palms Neighborhood Council. And so that's one way that we try to just make sure that our youth are involved, is we have a representative seat for youth. So you have to be a high school age for that seat.
So like, how did you recruit a youth representative? Because I know I was in high school, someone will come to my school like with their hat backwards, like, "Hey, you want to join the army?" Like, how does like you recruit someone to be like, "Yo, this is your community. Get noticed. Make sure you're involved."
Yeah, so a lot of it has to do with, one of the first places that you might find some youth are schools. So we try to reach out to schools, outreach. I'm a chair of the outreach committee right now for the Palms Neighborhood Council. And so just knowing, your local schools in your neighborhood, spreading the word that way. Oftentimes folks, youth who might want to be involved in these types of opportunities might be folks who are student leaders on campus, might be folks that teachers or staff recommend. And so asking them to, put up your flyer, to share with the student body, share with student leaders, that kind of thing, put in the newsletter, or some of the ways that we get the word out to youth. And then social media. So targeting ads, targeting ads in our neighborhood, given a certain age demographic. So, on Instagram, we'll use age, 14 to 18 if we're looking for a youth rep. Right. If we're looking for just general outreach, with age 14 is kind of where we start. And so just making sure that we are promoting to that age, that demographic as well.
Instagram target is no joke, man. Like Palms Forward has been all over my feed. I was like, "Yo, all right, all right, dude, you got me. I've been reached." Reaching out for questions here in the chat. If you got a question for Randell, let us know. JLJ James Lott Jr. asks, "Being a junior as well, do you feel responsibility to the name, Randell?"
That's it. Oh man, I have so many feelings about that.
Okay.
I don't.
Okay.
I feel a responsibility to myself.
Okay.
So I feel a responsibility to be the best Randell that I can be, to be the best person I can be, and I feel like that motivates me. I like am inspired by other folks as well, but I feel like I try to push myself. My full name is actually Moses Randell Erving Jr. So I do like to think about just the significance of my full name as well.
Yeah.
So
names are a lot. I mean, thankfully, I say thankfully not to like disparage you. Like my dad's name is Fleetwood, like the cat, like the Cadillac or the band. I couldn't imagine being a being a junior. That'd be weird, right? But yeah, I understand if you were a junior, people would say we're like the big versus little, or you try to be are you your second person. Oh, I'm sorry, I triggered something. My bad. Because I'll go to cookouts like, "Yo, man, Laverne, big Laverne or little Laverne?" Like it's just a weird vibe to me.
So that's one thing about me. As I did as a young person, I think being a junior, I didn't love it when I was a young person.
Yeah. I got you.
Because I felt like I didn't have my own name, right?
Yeah.
And but my father and I do go by different like nicknames or kind of names. So I go with my middle name. My dad goes by his first name. He goes by other nicknames that I don't go by, but within family, folks wants to call me Little Randy.
Okay.
And that was just not gonna stick for me. So
Absolutely.
I was quick to correct people. My name is Randell. The only person you cannot pull that with was Big Mama.
Oh, of course.
Like that. So I mean, she's for the longest time. She actually calls me Randell now, but for
Yeah.
most of my life, she called me Lil Randy, and that was okay.
Oh, I totally get it. I won't say it here because Hay was in the chat. You totally roast me. But there was nicknames my parents gave me growing up, and I can't say out loud at all. No, I mean, personal question. You don't have children. If you did, there wouldn't be a third, would they?
No, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do another iteration of my
I'll do another one.
something different. I wouldn't do another
I
Randell.
would do another one, bro. Like,
I think we cool on that.
it's the Godfather 2. JLJ actually responds, it's tough. I don't love it either. My dad is Jim. I'm James. Yes, I made that mistake very early by calling him. One time I called him Jim. One time I called him James Lott. He corrected me twice. But what's in a name, really? Like, it's funny because I had met a friend in Vegas last Tuesday. I went to go check him out. You know, it's been a while from high school, and he was with a friend, and he introduced me by my legal name to his lady friend. And I was like, "Oh yeah, you're from that part of my life. I can't correct you." I mean, he was like, "All right, you pass." But a lot of times you're kind of like, "What's going on?" But you've been in this neighborhood for a while, because I mean, I found you. I've been here 8 years myself. You've been here a minute. Like, how has seeing it changed? Palms, in your opinion, like how has it seen your neighborhood change over the years you've been here?
Yeah, it's interesting. You know, I think there are positive changes, there are negative changes. I think there are changes that we still don't know with the verdict is. It depends on who you ask.
Yeah.
I think some of the things that I'm concerned about are certainly neighbors who are unhoused, or who don't have shelter, who don't have who are housing and food insecure.
Yeah.
So that has been a large change I've seen in the neighborhood. When I moved here over a decade ago, there were the problem of the struggle that we're seeing with housing people. And it really shouldn't be a struggle because we have the funds to do it within our power.
Right.
But that's another conversation. But just seeing the number of folks who are impacted and living in places where we wouldn't want folks to live on the streets.
Sure.
That's been incredibly challenging for I think our neighborhood and just LA in general, not even just Palms, of course. That's something that we're experiencing across the city. And some things that go ahead.
Sorry to cut you off. You were saying?
I think the other changes that I've seen in the neighborhood, I think businesses have grown. I mean, I think the pandemic, not somewhat aside. But the growth of businesses in Palms. I mean, we've always had a wealth of restaurants, but really just seeing our Motor Avenue kind of our kind of main corridors thrive. Our business on Venice. I've seen some businesses that unfortunately have not been able to make it, but also like those who've been kind of landed here maybe 8 years ago and are still surviving. So that's been great to see, and I think it's been great to see the work that neighbors have done together over the past years. Mm-hmm. So whether it's in neighborhood cleanups, the murals. Like the block parties when we were able to have them, which was coming soon once again. But that kind of stuff was, I think things that I love seeing in the neighborhood and things that I appreciate about Palms.
So walk me through this on the policy side. And I guess this can be amplified on any level of politics, really. You understand a little bit more of the insight, the policy, how things work, how there is a good way, a right way, a compliant way, an ethical way to do things to push change forward. But I can imagine if I'm just a resident, a citizen of a neighborhood, a municipality, I want something changed. How do you reckon working with people that just want this thing done now, when for a fact it takes a lot more than what they want now, and not lose your mind?
I mean, I feel like that's everyday life. Right? I work in education, right? So I feel like
say no more, fam. Make my kids smart.
Right. As a teacher, right, that I want to see that that are challenges in our education system or within my school or within the communities that I've worked in. So I think wanting to see a problem fixed now is good. Urgency is good. I think pointedness is good. Being able to call out a challenge or a problem, and also provide a solution or, kind of a recommendation or work towards is good. I think people, have a right to be impatient when it comes to, how public funds are spent, how, elected officials are, either representing them or not.
Yeah.
And so I think that, it's sometimes educating folks, right? So part of it is, sometimes helping folks understand the right time to post, and I'm still learning some of this, but, the right time to bring up a conversation, knowing the different committee cycles and budget cycles and things like that, where, you do want to see something different happen with the city budget. But if you're having that conversation in March, that's a tough time because the budget's already been passed by that time. And so really, just kind of, helping to educate folks. And that's one of my goals for our campaign as we hopefully move into office, is that civic education is really important, right? Empowering folks to be able to have information, to know how to solve problems, to know where to go, whether it's to come to us as a neighborhood council and we can help you figure out where to go, or coming to us and giving, letting us know the problem and we can kind of amplify it on your behalf. Or, we can work together to try to find a solution for that problem.
I got two more questions for you on this politics thing. Because Frank, I go all day with this. This is fascinating for me, running the race, getting kicked out of the race and watching it grow still. But Charlene asks, this is actually a solid question. Thoughts about Governor Newsom, which is very open-ended, and you can interpret that well.
Yeah. I'm going to say I appreciate that man for what he's done in this pandemic. I will point that out smoothly. I'm not on that recall stage of that. I think that leading during this time is incredibly challenging. No matter if you're leading a school, leading a home, leading a city or a state, right? So I think that we are in the we're in the yellow tier now. About to be in the green tier soon, right?
I still wear cloth on my face. I don't know what tier that is. I just go outside. Hey,
I'll be in that there for a while with you.
Yo, for real. In fact, said, okay, that's fine.
But I do appreciate some of the more recent budgets. His most recent budget. I appreciate what the money that's being provided and set aside for education. Some of the things I really appreciate, I think most recent, I think it was about maybe 2 weeks ago, if that, he announced kind of efforts to universalize preschool in California. That's a huge game changer for childhood literacy, for education. Access to preschool for all Californians would be amazing. So it's opportunities, it's ideas like that that I really stand behind. The leadership that I took to get us to this place as a state, especially a state of our size, with the number of folks that we have, with LA County and the Bay Area, that were coronavirus hotbeds, 6 months ago, to be where we are now. I think that took a great model of leadership there.
Oh, absolutely. Walk me through 2020. I had my own political awakening that year, and I tell people I'm not a political person. In fact, the one time I ran for office, it was a nonpartisan role. But I always say politics took a note, wrapped it around the brick, and threw it through my window and was like, discuss me now, playa. What was your experience? I mean, not only as a policymaker, not only as an educator, but as a person of color, in leadership, about the last 12 months and change.
I mean, one thing I'll say is 2020 wasn't that much different for me. I mean, pandemic, I think when it comes to racial justice and the uprisings and the murder of black folks on the streets, and that being shown on television, on reels, on repeat, and that is traumatic. So that's not new, and that's not new for. I've been black my whole life, right? So I mean, who's in office? That has some impact. Some of the time, but really, a lot of these things have been going on for a while. I'm glad that some of these things are being highlighted more, being kind of I think investigated more by the public. Because we have social media, we have video footage, we have different opportunities to organize, I think, online and things like that. But for me, it was kind of it's like, okay, y'all waking up, or y'all just seeing this, but right. this is not new. As far as things go, as far as justice and equity in this country. Yeah. Oh yeah, go ahead.
No, I was like, yeah. I mean, it was. I don't want to make this too hard and heavy, but I'm kind of the same boat. It was kind of like, well, I'm glad people are offended. I'm surprised it took this this egregious instance to start a movement. But
Yeah,
I've been black my whole life, baby. You know how it is.
yeah. And there's a lot of work to do. I think that, just the way that the media works, and I think the way that systems work against folks who are not in power, or folks who have been decentralized, right? I think that, sometimes that a lot of the media hype we saw, that was a moment in the media. That was a moment for, corporate people just want to like, oh, here's our, we support Black lives, and well, where are we now?
Sure.
Right. So who's talking about Black lives now? Who's talking
Yeah.
about, the folks who are, who are losing their lives, Black trans lives? Who's talking about those things now as maybe as loudly as they were trying to affirm, where they were back then? So I think I do question that, as far as just, I think there's still work to be done.
This is my personal opinion. It doesn't reflect anyone on the show, in the chat, but sometimes I always wonder, like, do Black lives still matter? That's the question I have. But this is not about me, what I feel about life. It's about you, Randell Erving. Thanks so much for being on the show. And question I have for you, though, is if someone were to talk about you behind your back, what would they say about you? Like, how do people describe Randell Erving? Like, what things you've heard where your ears are burning about you?
I've heard that I work hard.
Mm-hmm.
I've done that pretty consistently. I've heard that I'm a good leader. I've heard that I can sometimes see things in a black and white way, which can be challenging and which can be an advantage in the group as well.
Yeah.
I've heard that I'm not someone who likes to empower folks. So if you've ever been in a committee meeting with me, or in a meeting with me, if you have an idea, I love hearing ideas. I love hearing contributions. I love hearing questions and challenges as well. When you're in a committee with me, if you bring an idea, that sounds like a great thing for you to be working on. So I can help you with that, but we got to do this work together, and collaboratively. so I'm not someone, even from folks in the public, who be like, y'all should do this. Oh, okay. Like, so are you gonna be helping them when we do that, or how's that gonna work?
I'm an idea person, but you guys, I'll be at Costco. No, I'm just kidding.
But certainly there are times when, of course, it's, you take ideas and you move with them because the folks, they've elected you to do some of this work. Obviously, they came you, so I definitely take that in mind too. But I'm pretty easygoing. So I mean, the way you're explaining to me now on camera is pretty much how I am. I like to just talk and collaborate with folks. I like to generate ideas. I like to work hard on things and kind of see results. But I really like helping. My first career is I was a teacher. Taught third grade, so I love youth. I love kind of working with families, and I really like kind of working on problems with other people.
Okay, like real life problems, or I just love puzzles. Like I don't know what.
I mean, problem solving, right? I think that when you're in an organization, when you're with a group, when you're part of part of a place, part of a community. Right? Sure. I think there are always opportunities to kind of work on problems, and also work on things that you envision and things that you want to see together. Throughout my time on the Palm Tennessee, we've had we've envisioned different things and been able to work towards those things.
Tell me about your home life. Cats, dogs, iguanas, families, roommates. Are you in an apartment, a house? What? Like what does after you do all that policy stuff? How you living?
Yeah, so I'm living and working at home right now. So,
oh yeah, for sure.
Which is a blessing and a curse, or a challenge, and has its challenges but also has its benefits. But I'm here with my partner. Been with him for 12 years now, and our dog.
Clap it up. That's a long time.
That is a long time. Yes, he's amazingly supportive and a great person. And our dog, we've had our dog for about, I think, 5 years.
Oh, what kind of dog?
She's a pit bull, mixed with a little something, like a little hound, I guess, or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that was the hardest question all night. What's your dog? Oh man, woo!
I didn't really grow up with pets around and dogs, so dog breeds. I mean, she's a pit bull with something else mixed in.
Yeah. Well, okay. Then what does Randell do for fun?
And she's a rescue. She's a rescue, y'all.
Oh, that's what's up.
Don't be tearing me down the comments.
No, it's all good. But what do you do for fun? How do you hang out? How do you spend time when you have downtime? If you have downtime?
I do. That's really important, especially, I think for all human beings, taking care of yourself is super important. Mental health, physical health, spiritual health, all the health. Make sure, you just try to be as mindful as possible with that. But so fun. Yes, I work hard, but I have a lot of fun too.
Yeah.
I love going to the beach, like reading, love eating, like drinking. So eating, drinking around Palms in LA, you can find me doing that. Like watching movies.
Okay. What?
I love going. I miss going to the movies. That was one of my favorite pastimes. I will return to that when it's time. It's not time yet,
Yeah.
but I really do enjoy going to the theater. I
What's
used to
your
go about
genre
twice a month.
preference? Are you a dumb action
Oh,
movie or your romantic comedy? Like, what's the flavor?
comedy.
Okay.
I love sitcoms in general, comedies. I like to laugh. I think there's a lot of things that are serious. I do a lot of serious work, a lot of important work. I like a lot of work that I believe in. But when I'm done with some of that and kind of, I don't want to hear the news. I want to laugh and have a good time.
Yeah, the news don't mess around. Like I watch local news because I'm a big wrestling fan. So I watch SmackDown right on Friday Night Wrestling, and it's like, wow, what a match! Up next, 8 people are dead in the fire. Like, whoa, like, yo, it's like, I'm not ready for this. It's dreamy.
It's a hard switch. It's a hard switch.
Like, no, go show me the fake fights. Charlene asks about education, virtual education. Should it be an option for families for the next school year?
Yes. I'm always going to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that. I'll speak about this from our state, from California. Children are not that getting the vaccine yet. Especially at the rate that I think it's just become available for some age youth, and so that's a concern that many families have. And there's still everyone's not vaccinated. While we have made great progress with the vaccine in our state,
Yeah.
there's still a lot of folks who have only had one shot, who maybe should have had two. There are folks who've had no shots for whatever reason. They're choosing not to be vaccinated or cannot be vaccinated, and so there's still a big a risk. There's still a large risk for the virus being transmitted between places, and folks are still kind of nervous. And so I think that just public health wise and public perception wise, I don't think it's a smart idea personally to force children back into school this next especially the first semester. I think we're still collecting data, right? We're still vaccinating folks, and I think it's not only children, but I think it's also teachers, right? Like not everyone's in a place to be back on campus necessarily when we hit August, right? And so I think that we're still in a pandemic. We're hopefully coming out of it, but I think that folks have had a lot of life changes in the past year and a half, right? And so kind of being able to refigure out, how to go back to work full time for some folks is important. So I think that children have the option of returning to school in person. I think that many of our schools will be ready to open. I think we anticipate by August or rather fall. But I think that forcing kids back into school, I think, could have a lot of implications. And I don't think, and California is very litigious. Like you get sued so fast in the state. Like, I mean, you could this,
right.
A lot of litigation here. So I just think that it's not worth it for. I mean, I don't think it's worth it for like districts to be like just go and battle with families like that, because really, it's for some kids to be online for another semester and kind of reevaluate from that point. I think it's okay, and it's also what families deserve.
We're here getting to know Randell Erving, who's a presidential candidate in the Palms Neighborhood Council. Palms Forward is what you need to do to hit him up to learn more about it. But I want to learn more about the man behind the policymakers. So I got a little bit of a lightning round here for you. Quick answers if you want to. You can go more details if you'd like, because I'm just curious, man. You know how it is, And of course, you can pass a question, but I tell you, these are softballs. Don't worry about it. Are you a sports guy? And if so, which teams?
Marquette basketball.
Wow, that was quick.
And Lakers.
Okay, the Lakers are solid. Yeah, I mean, I'm a Brooklyn Nets fan. That's cool. I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at you.
I'm not mad at you either.
I was like, the Clippers. No, I'm just kidding. Favorite TV show currently?
Oh man, that's a hard one. I don't watch that many things currently.
Really, your dog ear TV show is a hard question. I just asked about public policy and education. I got that.
Here's one thing about me though. I don't watch a ton of new shows. I did like this show came out during the pandemic. I think like 2020 somewhere, called The Other Two.
What's that about?
So it's about it's a parody. It has I'm bad with people's names. I'm not gonna mess up her name.
Okay.
Just let y'all look. I'm gonna let y'all look it up.
Okay.
But it has someone that is recognizable, famous
I have to go look
famous
this up
actress
now.
who's in
All right.
comedy. I want to say it's Molly. I think it's Molly Shannon, but I probably shouldn't say that. But the show is about this kid who's basically like a Justin Bieber type like child, who like rises to fame off this song called "Let Me Take You on a Date to Recess" or something like that. So the show is about his family. So he has two siblings who are the other two, and he's like the famous one. It's kind of like the way it goes. And so
it is Molly Shannon, by the way.
Okay, good. I'm so glad that I did not mess that up. But that show is hilarious. I think it's only one season. Season 2 should be coming out soon, but it was a good time.
Yeah, that's what's up. Favorite music concert you ever attended?
Stevie Wonder.
Wow, you saw Stevie Wonder in concert?
Songs in the key like at the Hollywood Bowl.
That must be like 8 hours long. I think it was longer than church sometimes. You're like, yo, Stevie. Okay, just kidding.
Man, that was a great time. That was a great show.
What's a food you can eat practically at any time?
Cereal.
What's your favorite cereal? Got a favorite.
Trader Joe's has this like strawberry O's thing. It's like like Cheerios, a little strawberry frosting, a little strawberry dried strawberries in there.
Shout out Trader Joe's, man. That's what's up.
Yeah, that's a good cereal. I like that. Shout out Trader Joe's.
Shout out Trader Joe's.
Bomb snacks.
Dude, sometimes you got like $40. You can buy a whole 2 weeks worth of Trader Joe's right there. Come through the clutch.
Well, I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that. But that other store over there.
Oh yeah. I got to talk about. You don't have to pick one, but what's a best piece of advice you've heard?
Say it one more time.
A best piece of advice.
Oh, I had a mentor who mentored me through a lot of my 20s and my high school years, and she told us that the only permanent thing is change.
True, absolutely true. Describe a perfect day for Randell.
Oh man,
perfect day.
All right, we're going to get up, do a little meditation.
Okay.
And then we switch to music because music is like I have music on all the time. So play some music, like make some food, go to the beach. I love the beach, as I mentioned. Scratch that. We're gonna go for a hike first, then go to the beach.
It is California.
Hit up a little happy hour. Yeah, my favorite bar was the Abbey. So in at the Abbey.
Oh, the Abbey's dope, man. The drink specials are on point. I can't lie. Well, pre-pandemic, I don't know how it is now. I have to wear gloves now, but before the pandemic, it was dope. Oh, damn, what's going on, Randell? What's outside?
I live nearby the Palms Fire Station, not too far.
Oh, okay, got you. It's a good place, by the way.
Yeah, it's
just so weird that we're like virtual. We're like literally like a mile and a half apart. But
right.
What's one place you want to visit on your travel bucket list?
Mexico City.
Oh yeah, a very old looking city in a good way.
Yeah.
Favorite superhero?
Black Panther. That should have been like, I don't know why I thought about it so hard. But yeah, like I love that movie.
I mean, him and Storm were the perfect image back then. It was like, that's what I want.
Yeah.
Get you your own Storm or get your own Wakanda. What would be considered one of the best days of your life?
A really wonderful day was when I graduated undergrad.
Okay.
I finished Marquette. That was a big accomplishment for me in my life. I went away for school. It was a choice I just wanted to make as a young person. I was like, I want to get out of California because I hadn't traveled very much as a young person.
Yeah.
And I committed to doing it. I went to a middle college program in high school, which means I went to college and high school concurrently for my last 2 years. So when I got to college, I had the opportunity to, thankfully, because I had already taken a year of coursework, to get out in 3 years. And so I was super determined to finish undergrad at Marquette in 3 years. I did that.
Wait, so you're an LA original or California original?
Yes, yeah, I'm from the Bay Area. I was born and raised in San Jose.
Oh wow, how was San Jose? I've been there once. And it was like one night at a bar. It was okay, but I mean, how was that town?
I mean, that's probably a good way to describe it. It was okay, no.
Shout out to the Caravan Bar, y'all. They put me on stage. I can't get mad.
Right. No, there's it's a big city. I really appreciate, living in big cities. I love Los Angeles for that reason. San Jose is super diverse. I'm glad to spend my time there. I think now when I go back, it's not fun. I don't know if it was ever a fun city. It's a big city and
Yeah,
there's money there.
yeah.
I have family there, but it's not necessarily the most fun place. I really like LA.
So what brought you to LA then? Just the weather, honest people, the
The
traffic.
weather. I mean,
Okay.
when I moved here, I just finished undergrad and I was beginning my teaching career. And so when I was like thinking about like where could I go? Like
Yeah.
I just been in Milwaukee. So
Oh,
I was like, definitely I'm coming back to California for sure.
smart, smart.
But I did want to move back home to the Bay Area. I was like, LA is gonna be perfect. And it was.
Yeah. JLJ with the shade. San Jose is playing.
It is a little plain. I mean, I have a lot of hometown pride, but it's not like the place that you go describe when it's like if you want to have fun in the Bay Area, you don't go to San Jose.
Well, I was at a electrical engineering conference in Santa Clara, which is as lame as it sounds. And I was one of those weird things where it's like I'm in company Diamond Tom, and I stole away to San Jose to do a comedy show. I felt like Batman, my nighttime, another alter ego type deal. It was great, but I don't know much about it. So I'm glad that you're there. Question that Charlene had earlier: what age grade do you teach?
I'm not in the classroom anymore. I'm now the director of student and staff support services for a
Oh,
charter network up near Silver Lake. But when I did teach, I started out in third grade, which I loved. Taught that for 2 years. I also taught fifth grade. I taught eighth grade in the classroom. And then I've
wow.
worked at a few schools in administrative capacities as a school leader, a principal, as a dean, and kind of work with kids in that respect.
Gotcha. What? And my last question, because I'm just completely nosy. What is your guilty pleasure musical artist right now? The one where like you like, but you feel weird being like, yo, I kind of like them. They kind of.
I try not to pump myself up. I don't need to feel worried about liking anything. I can like whatever I
Oh,
want. I can like whatever I
100%
want.
Randell, man. Yeah, what's
so,
up?
so I mean, I don't want to say it's guilty, but
Yeah.
let me see. What am I?
Let's go. We're
I
gonna find
listen
out
to
right
music
now.
all the
Breaking news,
time.
y'all.
Let's see.
Are you look at the workout mix, the chill
Yeah,
think
I'm on
mix?
title. Just like I favorite tracks all the time. I haven't been necessarily a huge Sean Kingston fan. Like I think he
Okay.
just generationally, like he wasn't just like my vibe. I think by the time he came up, but he has a good song called "Darkest Times" that just came out.
Okay. Yeah. What's up, man? Sean Kingston was I always hear stories about him how he would have like the biggest entourage ever. My friend was a hospitality person at a venue, and I did that work. Basically, you get all the green M&Ms, and he would come through with him and like a bus full of dudes. He's like, "What are you doing?" I'm a Sean. Okay, what are you doing? I'm a Sean. I Yo, that's the life.
That's
That is
right though. Put everybody on. Put everybody on.
but everybody, yo, that's it. You be all eating right now.
Like we
Uh,
all eat.
so the election is like what 2 weeks away at this point, and I know
Yes.
people are still trying to figure their options. They're trying to do the whole balance. Like how? I mean, what message you have for somebody who may be a little undecided about who to put their vote down at the hyper local level for Palms Forward or for another option?
Yeah. Well, I mean, really, I'll say, there's uh, I have a track record of experience in this organization, so I think that I would kind of weigh, do you want to work with somebody who, has been working in the community, has a record of experience with the community for a number of years, or do you want someone who has not done anything with the community yet
Mm.
and will tell you that to your face?
Wow, that's a mic
So,
drop. I
so I would say, watch the candidate forum. I would say that you can see myself and my opponent, but also if you check out the Palms Neighborhood Council's annual report,
yeah.
we do a kind of a year end of the year summary of the actions that we've taken, of the events that we put on, all the things that we did as a board. You can see my imprint there and the work that I've done with the board. If you look at our outreach, I run the Palms, or I kind of help to manage the Palms NC Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, along with my team of outreach folks on my committee. And so if you're on Instagram, likely you're interacting with me as the Palms NC, and so you can kind of see some of my work there. But also, I say, like, check out our website. If you go to palmsforward.com, you can see all the candidates that are running along with me. You can hear about what our vision for the community and what we like to do. So I just encourage you to check us out. But you want somebody with experience, not somebody who you don't know what you're going to get.
So this was my experience running for public office, and I know this is not about me, but hey, my name's on the screen, right?
Right?
It's not about me.
You a little bit. It's about you a little bit.
So I was at my day job at the time, and they're like, "Hey, you should run for public office," and I go, I did a little candidate statement, and there was a slate, and I was outside of the slate. I was looking in on the slate, like, can I be part of the slate? Sorry, the slate's already made. Fine. And so I felt like I was behind the 8 ball. But we had a candidate meet session. I was feeling good about myself, shaking hands, going to businesses, because I'm a business rep. What I liked is the fact that there is many different walks of life in Palms, or any kind of municipality, right? Everyone brings their own experience to things, what they want, what they didn't. Ultimately, it was a 3-man race for 2 spots, and I lost the game of musical chairs. I am not nearly as salty now as I was back then, because I was incredibly salty, Randell. But I like the fact that you ultimately have to face the music. You can't just stay in an ivory tower and be like, vote for me. You got to meet people, because there's only 40,000 people in our neighborhood, 45,000, I think, right? Like, you got to be able to be seen,
And of those, really the vote, to be really honest, only a few hundred vote. Right. So exposure is really important, but but you'll likely see me out in the streets of Palms if you haven't already. Now that we are in the yellow tier, I am doing campaigning in person, and so I invite you if you want to come and meet me. My team will be out at Woodbine Park this weekend. We'll be out at near the Motor Avenue Farmers Market this weekend. You'll probably see us near the Metro South this weekend, and this week you might get a phone call from us tomorrow night, because we're phone banking. You probably see us on social media. So definitely, if you have questions, find me. I'm Mr. Erving at Twitter, and Mr. Erving on Facebook as well.
I just want to give a shout out to Flobo23, who says, "You stole my name." Shout out to Germany. Everyone, Germany's tuning into you, Randell. You're worldwide.
You're worldwide. Thanks for putting me on.
I can't do the show alone. But before we get out of here, we got to play one more game. You down with it? You down with the game, sir?
Yeah, I got time.
This one here is my favorite. It's called Risky Sevens. Here's the deal. I'm going to ask you 7 questions of varying difficulty. If you get the question right, I will donate $5 on your behalf to a charity of your choosing, which you've earmarked to be Baby to Baby, a local organization who provides diapers and other necessities to children and families throughout Los Angeles. Get the question wrong, and they get 0. Ready to play? $35 on the line.
Ready to play.
All right, here's the top. The topic is Los Angeles. So no pressure for candidate in Los Angeles. You guys can play along too. Let's shout. Let's get Randell some money for Baby to Baby. Let's go. Question number 1. And trust me, they're not that hard. I mean, it'd be fun. Question number 1. In 1892, this black substance was discovered under the land now occupied by Dodger Stadium.
That was tar.
Final answer, bro.
It was black mold, huh?
It's close. I'll give you it's close.
It wasn't fungus, and it wasn't tar either.
No.
Oh, I don't know this one.
It's oil. It's oil. We're moving on.
Okay.
Question number 2. $0 in the bank for Baby to Baby. Let's see if you can make some money on the board. Episode 2. Movie makers fled to Los Angeles to avoid paying film patent fees that were held by this famous inventor.
Say it one more time.
Movie makers fled to Los Angeles to avoid paying film patent fees that were held by this famous inventor.
Ooh, okay. I'm gonna go with Kodak.
Thomas Edison. But that's all right. It's gonna get better.
Let's hope.
No, it's very
Baby, y'all want some money now.
I can't go broke, Randell. No, I'm just kidding. Question number 3. This one should be easy. Number 3. This famous shopping district and former Lima Bean Ranch is known by its famous zip code of 90210? This famous shopping district and city and former Lima Bean Ranch is known by its famous zip code of 90210.
Beverly Hills.
Beverly Hills. All right, $5 on the board here for Baby to Baby. This is momentum.
It's about shopping. You know, I got shopping questions.
I shopped at Beverly Hills one time. I was like, "How much is that?" I'm good. And that's all the shopping I did that day.
I did window shopping now.
Yeah, there's no prices. It's a bad sign. Okay, number 4. The city of Los Angeles is actually named after this divine figure.
Angels.
Close. One person. Los Angeles is named after this divine figure.
An angel. One angel? No, if it's not angels, I don't got it.
I'm going to give it to you. It's actually the Virgin Mary. Los Angeles is short for El Pueblo de Nuestra Señora de las Reinas de Los Angeles. So basically the Queen of the Angels, the Virgin Mary. $10 in the bank for Baby to Baby. Let's make it 15. Question 5 out of 7. Los Angeles is the only major city in the United States that is bisected by what? And I'll give you a hint. Valleys, baby. Los Angeles is the only major city in the United States that's bisected, cut in half by what?
Freeways.
Mountains.
No.
It was mountains. It was because of the valley. The Valley. Dude, I just think okay. All right, all right. $10 in the bank for Baby to Baby. We'll get more. I swear, we'll get more. I swear. You'll get this one here. You're a California original and a Laker fan. Question 6. Before they made the Staples Center their home, the Los Angeles Lakers played in this city of champions. Where did the Lakers play before the Staples Center? Just give me the city. Don't tell me just give me the city. I heard it. Inglewood up to no good. That's right. 5 more in the bank here for Baby to Baby. You got $15. Question 7. This famous record label was founded by NWA frontman Eazy-E in 1986. This famous record label was founded by NWA frontman Eazy-E in 1986.
Was it NWA Records?
This famous record label, bro, I have to shout it out. This famous record label was founded by NWA frontman Eazy-E in 1986. So what?
Trivia is not my thing, actually, as you can clearly see.
California hip hop, Eazy-E, express yourself.
Yeah, no, I got you. I just can't tell you what label it was.
James Lott Jr. has it. Ruthless Records was the name of the label.
Nice.
So you
I wouldn't have got that.
You got $15 in the bank after 7 questions for Baby to Baby. You want to go double or something? Here's a chance to double the take if you get the question right.
I feel like we should definitely give them $15.
If you get it wrong, you'll still get 15. But I'm saying it's kind of like
we can double it then.
It's double or something. You're not gonna maybe not gonna. I can't call him like, yo, man, Randell let you down today. No, they're getting 15. This one here is a little tricky. I'll say it slow, but you should probably get this squared away. $15, chance for 30 for Baby to Baby. Your bonus question: William James Adams Jr. is an Angelino famous for being in the Black Eyed Peas under this pseudonym.
Oh, funny story about that. That's Will I Am. But the funny story.
It's correct, by the way.
I was at a bar yesterday. My first kind of meeting some friends I had not met before, and I'm actually participating in the New Leaders Council Fellowship. And so I was meeting some other fellows of mine. We've been doing this fellowship for about 5 months together, but have not met in person. And so I met with three other folks yesterday. So we're out having some cocktails, and the owner comes over and says, "Hey, I want to make an announcement to everybody." I was like, okay.
Okay.
So he was like, I mean, so just, does anybody know the Black Eyed Peas? And we're like, yeah. We're like, well, they're filming. They're filming a video in our parking lot. So if you park right there, you got to move your car because they're coming down to film right now. That was yesterday.
Wow. So you got basically brushed aside post-pandemic.
Sure did.
For real, that's messy.
I mean, that's pretty much LA though,
That's a true LA story. Like, cause I was at a marathon a couple of years ago, and I was running. I was like, trying my hardest, and this old man cut me off, and it was Will Ferrell, but like Will Ferrell was like 20 minutes faster than I was. I was like, come on, bro. You make me look bad. So I totally get it. Totally LA story. But thank you so much for being on the show with the Flobo After Hours. Your Monday night delight. Before we get out of here, Randell, if anyone want to hit you up, check you out, learn more about you, how exactly they go about doing that?
Yeah, you can find me at Mr. Erving on Twitter. That's ERVING, my last name, and then MR. Mr. Erving on Facebook as well. You can follow our campaign at palmsforward.com, and then we're Palms Forward on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.
Give a shout to Baby to Baby. Mr. Randell Erving scored $30 for you, which I'll donate and tag you in that donation.
Nice.
Only the beginning for this individual, because I know the communities will be best served under his leadership. That does it for me. I'll be back here next week with my best friend, Jack Farmer. We have a fantastic show for you lined up. But until next time, After Hours are closed.